Welcome, Sagittarius, to Spiritual Rebirth Tarot. I'm Madelyn, and so glad to have you here in this channel. At this time, we're looking to find hope and healing in our lives. And in this general reading, if it resonates with you, please like, subscribe, share, and especially subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button so that you can get other messages that are similar. And if this is your first time here, welcome. I really appreciate you coming, and subscribe to the channel, and that will really help. Also, if there are things that resonate with you or within the next week, during the week, or sometime, go ahead and comment for me. I'd love to read your comments and know what's going on with you, and be able to comment back and forth and have a dialogue. And so let us get started. We're going to start with some wild unknown animal deck, animal spirit deck. And this is a really great deck that has a lot of energies. So let's do the Reiki energy in it. Okay, and then I'm going to do a 2-card spread, the path for the week and the obstacles that you will face. So the path and the obstacles. Okay. All right, the path is the bear, and the obstacle is the earthworm, and underneath is the swan. Okay, so the underneath card is the subconscious, what the subconscious is wanting to tell you about your energies. One of the first things I notice here is the almost identical mirror reflection of the swan in this card. And both in, well, just the card is a reflection of itself, and it has a very interesting energy because of that. Blues, yellows, the white swan. The swan really brings a sense of peace, togetherness. They usually mate for life, so loyalty and commitment. They raise their young well, so nurturing and harmony. And when they eat, they put their beautiful necks down into the muck and find something to eat. And so they have that element that the water lily has of the underlying muck. Then there's the leaves on top of the water and the beautiful white flower, kind of like the swan. So the swan has kind of that same feel to it as a water lily, saying that even if things are kind of mucky underneath right now, something is growing up out of it to blossom beautifully. You know, the swan is also telling you sometimes you have to kind of get yourself dirty and muck around a bit to be able to really grab onto that beauty that you're trying to attain. So that's the underlying message for this this time period for this week. So the path that we're looking at is the bear. I feel like we had a bear in another reading as well for the path. So it's a very strong energy this week, and I see it as the bear, you know, going into hibernation, Sagittarius, and that will probably be fairly difficult for you. The kind of energies that you have, the energies of the Fool and the Wheel, and so much movement, to be kind of holding still inside of a cave and relaxing and resting. But I can kind of see that, you know, the hermit energy, the the cave energy, the bear and hibernation energy coming out in your path this week. And then the earthworm comes in as the obstacle. It's interesting, it's kind of like a double O, so obstacle. But it almost has an infinity nature to it, and yet it doesn't. You know, what I instantly think of is that .io game that my kids play, and they're worms, and they go around on the screen, and if they go around, they eat up other droppings all over and get bigger and bigger. Well, if they get surrounded by a larger worm, they die, and then that worm eats them. Well, so if they surround a worm, the worm dies, and they eat it, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they try to get as big as possible. And it reminds me of that because they come in all these different colors. They all can, you know, you can pick all different worms, different appearances to your worm, and it has your name on it, and you're playing with people all throughout the world. So you could find, you know, someone that you know on that game, you know, otherwise. And in this case, it's kind of like he's eating himself, because he's gone around himself, and you know, by going around himself, he's like almost like he's killing himself or eating himself in the game. So it could be that the obstacle that you're facing could have something to do with video games. It could be somehow self-sabotaging behaviors that you're kind of destroying and killing yourself. So, you know, maybe some kind of self-sabotaging behavior. And you can think about a worm and how when it rains, it doesn't want to drown. It comes out of the water, and it's like going across the road, and then a truck runs it over. And so it's kind of like you can't win for losing, and self-sabotaging. So I think, you know, Sagittarius, that you'll have the path that's kind of like that hermit energy, and the obstacle would be something where you would be you'd kind of be harming yourself in some way, allowing something to be held onto. So let's take a look at the tarot. This is the Native American deck, and I have the Amazon Associates links underneath all of my videos, so you can help donate to the channel a little tiny bit by using those links to buy things. And this is a really excellent deck. I really enjoyed it. It's great. Let's take a look at the bear. So let's pull up some tarot related to the bear. Okay. So the devil. And the giveaway dance. I feel like I got those two together as well too for another reading. I'll have to go back and look. I don't remember them very well usually. They kind of just come out. So let's take a look at the earthworm and the why the earthworm is here, the energies of the earthworm, what tarot comes up in connection with the earthworm. Okay, the Chief of Shields and the Corn Maiden. And underneath is the Strength. card. So this is one of my favorite cards in this deck. This woman is sitting here. She's holding, instead of a lion, it's a cougar. So it's a more of a Native American kind of lion. It's not out in Africa. It's here in the United States. And one of the interesting things about this deck, this cards may not be noticeable at first, is the 7 stars, which are the Pleiades. And then it's kind of like a rainbow, but it's a rainbow coming out of the sun. And so if we put together the Swan and the Strength card as the 2 cards underneath are the connection underneath the subconscious is telling you that in this time you're going to be given the strength that you need, the direction that you need. For some of you, it might be reminding you that you're a light worker, that you've come to this world for a specific purpose and direction, and looking at the sun, creating this rainbow effect, but in the opposite direction. So usually we see rainbows like this. Instead, to have the rainbow kind of pushing out of the sun, and all the beautiful colors that it's giving. So this strength and this beauty and this direction, this focus is going to be here for you this week as you need it. And so when we look at the bear, we see the devil and the giveaway dance. It's interesting. It's 2 6s. So you might look at 666 and see what the number 66 would mean for you with this path. So the devil in this case is a buffalo, and the buffalo kind of shows both the sense of light and dark. And the devil energy is interesting. Where I was talking about the earthworm maybe having some obstacle that was kind of getting in your way, kind of being the devil, kind of like a devil energy, the self-sabotaging behavior. So it's interesting that we were talking about that a little bit. And so this kind of points to that again, but it also points to the sense of abundance. And so when I think of the bear, I think of all the abundance that it had when it was eating before it went into hibernation. And the same with the buffalo. It's really giving it a sense of abundance. And also with the black and white, a sense of like the yin and yang, the night and the dark, the summer and the winter, the seasons, the changing of these times and seasons. So it's kind of like it's a time for everything. It's a season for everything. So there's a direction and a season to go. And also the devil has the fiery wand in his hand, which kind of reminds you of Sagittarius with your fire energies. The giveaway dance, is again around a fire. The dance, in this case, giving away a bride to a groom, something to where two cultures, 2 entities, 2 families, 2 tribes are being brought together. And so it's kind of that 2, 6 is 2, 2, 2, 3 2s. And so it's pulling all of that energy together and creating that kind of an ultimate balance in your life. So this devil energy could get in the way of this balance that you're really trying to receive with this 6 of Pentacles. connecting the two worlds together. Okay, so in taking a look at the earthworm, the Chief of Shields is the same thing as the King of Pentacles, and the Corn Maiden is the High Priestess. So that's a pretty strong card, the number 2. So we have a 2 again. So there's a lot of 2s here. So it's a pretty important balancing. So the earthworm is the King of Pentacles and the Corn Maiden. The Corn Maiden is really there. She's processing the corn, and yet she's blessing the corn at the same time. And as it's being harvested, which is this time of year, things are being harvested here in the, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, as we go into autumn. We're harvesting, we're collecting, the headdress there is just amazingly beautiful. You can see that. So she's wearing this headdress, kind of bringing this virginal vibe of really bringing the harvest, the nutritional element to the tribe. And then the Chief of Shields sits here in, a lot of power and strength and direction and focus and energies. And also I noticed it has kind of that circular nature like the earthworm does with his shield. And so we kind of have that circular pattern being repeated several times. And so that has the sense of continuation and not stopping, but a continuation of growth. And that's what the corn teaches us as well. You pick the corn, you dry it, and then you plant some of it so it grows into crops, and you pick the corn, you dry it, and so you can do that every year. It's a cycle. With him, he understands and recognizes the cycles of nature and of life and brings those together. So I think that to help you overcome the obstacles this week, the obstacle of self-sabotaging, to get into the earth and into nature, grounded. The earthworm is grounded. The Chief of Shields is very grounded by nature. The Corn Maiden, very grounded, celebratory type energy, and all those are really important. So balancing and grounding ourselves in our meditations. So I would like to. The devil energy can also point toward Capricorn, and the Corn Maiden. I have to look up what the zodiac sign is. Well, and then the strength is the Leo. So let's look at Leo, Capricorn, High Priestess, and then let's look at the meaning of the swan more, why the swan showed up here in the extended. So come on over to the extended to learn more about this reading, to continue on with the reading. Thank you so much for coming over to the channel and being a part of this. Sagittarius, was really nice for October. Please comment below any additions that you would like, any changes that would be meaningful, anything that resonated with you. And come on over to the extended. It'll be a link down below for that. Okay, take care. We'll see you over there.